Hey, it's Amy and welcome to my channel. Wow, I am so happy it is finally 2021. I do think I thought maybe when I'd wake up today being like, oh, it's January 1st, everything is back to normal, but unfortunately I think it will be a little bit longer, though I do have a lot of hope for 2021. In this video, I wanted to share kind of the things that I've learned from 2020 and the goals, races, and just plans I have for 2021. But before I share those things, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at amy.spurr-Caveney, where I post more running and music and just life things. Let's face it, 2020 was not the year we were expecting and probably not the year we wanted. It was so hard just watching everything that I had been looking forward to slowly being taken away. I was also forced to watch my music career that I've been so passionate since I was 7 just vanish in a night. I was honestly on my way to a gig when everything got cancelled and locked down. I cannot tell you how upsetting and devastating and just I love performing, and just to not be able to do that, something I'm so passionate about, was really hard. While I might have mourned for my music career and the races that I had planned for fall 2020, not everything about 2020 and COVID has been bad. I was so fortunate to have a great build for my virtual fall marathon. It really reinforced the idea that hard work, consistency, determination can really pay off in big ways. I honestly still can't believe I did the sub 3 marathon, but it was such an amazing kind of summer in that regards, being able to train and just see the progress that I've had. I'm also so thankful for my husband Liam and just the support he gave me, and just going through very emotional times. He was just there, and I couldn't have done it without him. I'm also just so thankful for my BlackToe race teams and my coach and just the support. And then when we couldn't be together for workouts, doing these Zoom workouts, it was just really, really important to be able to see their faces and just have that connection, even if it was over Zoom. Strength training, as you know, I love it, and it was just really good to be able to do it together. Then when the restrictions lifted, we were able to meet in smaller pace groups, and that just made a huge difference in the really tough workouts, and just in general, just being able to see those very few but just really awesome people, and it made such a difference, especially just training. And I just missed my friend. The pandemic just was really isolating, and thank goodness for Liam, but just you had no one to really see, and just I was used to seeing my friends at gigs and at work, and just having nothing of that, it made a huge difference when we were able to do those workouts together with my friends. I have learned so much from 2020 and just had to kind of grow and adapt, and I wanted to share a few things that just have really stuck with me. The first is just to be adaptable. When concerts were canceled and my teaching in person, so I had to switch over to Zoom, and then doing the Zoom like workouts with the race team, just being able to kind of just flip immediately to putting music on hold, or just finding new kind of ways to express music like recording, and just all that stuff was really hard, but also showed me that I could do it. I cannot tell you how many times I wanted to reach through the screen of Zoom and just like fix somebody's wrist, or just be there in person. But again, it made me kind of a better teacher, as I had to kind of just really think about the words I was saying and just everything about teaching. It was just I've learned a lot. I also learned that it's okay to have some downtime. Maybe because I wasn't traveling all over Ontario and just being exhausted and just going from one thing to the next thing and just always go, go, go. Maybe that's part of why I had such a great marathon build. I just wasn't exhausted, and I actually got to sleep over 6 hours, and just all these things, eating properly. Maybe, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, who knows for sure, but it did really make me learn how to kind of relax, because I don't know about you, but I have a hard time sitting down and doing like nothing. So just learning that recovery is really important, especially if I want to do these big workouts and do them well. I have to be able to have some downtime and just, again, recover properly. Another thing that I learned is that I love to cook. my husband and I just fell in love with baking and cooking, and him especially baking, which I am very excited about. But we learned how to meal plan and tried a lot of new recipes. It was just really exciting just to, try things we had never done before, and now we feel way more confident in the kitchen. It's also great just making things from scratch, and I just love food and I just want to know what exactly is going in my body. So that was really cool, and I feel like this is something that we'll just keep building on in the years to come. I also learned that it was okay to not be okay. There were times, especially when the pandemic first happened, or just even recently too, but I would just be so sad and overwhelmed and just, anxious a bit. And again, I was mourning the loss of my career and just everything that was going on in the world. Like, everyone was affected by this and still is affected. Eventually I came to accept what was happening, and just I really wanted to make the best of this year by practicing and just becoming a stronger runner and just accomplishing these goals, and also just trusting in my faith and just knowing that I don't know why all these things happened, but just having that belief that I might not know, but maybe there's a reason that these all happened, and just that I can't fix it or I can't change anything, but just to know I can just only change really how I react to it. Another thing I learned in 2020 is why I play music. When all my concerts were canceled and I had nothing to really work for, I finally had the time to actually practice. Because I was always just constantly learning music and just churning it out for the gigs that I had coming up, I never really had the time to kind of just practice and play things that I wanted to play. So 2020 really gave me the time just to kind of work on my own projects, and I did some recordings, and just really gave me the time to fall back in love with the violin. Liam and I have also played music together, and that's been really special. I also learned why I run. I was so upset when Chicago was canceled, and that was going to be my first major, and I was just so excited to do it with a lot of my friends were going, and just it was going to be such a great race. However, I quickly realized there's still so many benefits to training even if there was no races on the horizon. Honestly, at the beginning of the pandemic, running was the only structured thing I had in my life. I could just look at my schedule and I was like, oh, I have to go for my run, do my strength, and just all this stuff, and it felt like I had something productive to do. It was a good reminder that the race itself is only the victory lap, and the only thing that really matters is the training leading up to the race. I mean, you want to have a good race, but all that hard work and just effort you put in, that's the stuff that you grow and learn from. I also learned that you don't need in-person big races to accomplish your goals. I'm still in awe of just the amazing time I had with my friends pacing me, my coach. It was such an incredible day, and I don't think I might have had that if it was in a big race like Chicago, or it might have just looked differently. The last few things I learned, and again, I'm probably forgetting things, but I can do hard things. I never truly knew if I could do long solo runs by myself, especially solo hard workouts. That was getting a little tough by the end, but I did them by myself, and I, did fairly well. So it just showed me that I can do things, even hard things. I also learned that I'm not invincible. I had been really lucky and not had any major injuries until this fall. Yeah, I guess I just thought I was one of those lucky ones who never got injured, but it was a good wake-up call for me. I got this IT band syndrome, and it really just made me kind of cut back running. I took some time off, and it was really hard. I learned that I can't ignore mobility and strength work and stretching, and there's always more I could be doing. Being injured was awful, and I'm still just slowly recovering from it, but it was a good reminder that I'm not invincible, and I still need to work on some things. And lastly, I was able to start this channel. I'd always wanted to start a YouTube channel and just was fascinated by the whole thing, but never really had the time. I'm so grateful for just learning kind of a new skill, like editing and just everything that goes into just doing these channels and videos. It's a lot of work, and I didn't realize everything that went into it. Making these videos has really forced me to see what I do for strength and what I do for food, all these things, and I feel like I've grown as a runner, and I hope they've been helpful for you too. If there's any video topics or just anything you'd like to see me cover in a video, please tell me in a comment below. Okay, plans I have for 2021. So I don't think things are gonna go back to normal until maybe the summer or fall, or who really knows. so I'm planning on doing a virtual race in the spring. BlackToe Running, where I'm part of the race team, are planning on doing a virtual race in May. My plan is to pretend that I'm training for a full marathon because I want to get kind of another build in my legs just to get stronger and just have the experience of building for another marathon, but I think I'm only going to do the half marathon in May. I'm also signed up for Around the Bay 30-kilometer virtual race, so that might be kind of fun a few weeks before, or I think it's maybe a month, I have to check, but before the half marathon. Also, I haven't done a race since the Chile half marathon in March of last year, and who would have thought that that would have been the only race I would have got in 2020, like in person, but I really want to just kind of see how fast I can run the half marathon. Do you have any time predictions? Let me know. I think in Chile last year I did around 1:26. I'll tell you in the video here, but that was my last year's time, so I'd be very curious to know if what you guys think would be possible for me. I have an idea of what I'm aiming for, but I'm not quite ready to share it yet. I'll let you know when I am ready. I think I also want to do a 5K time trial. I've never raced a 5K, and I was going to do it in the fall after my marathon, but this whole injury kind of got in the way, and maybe it was good for me just to have that kind of downtime, especially after such a big effort in the marathon, but I'm hoping to do something in the spring, kind of just to see what my legs have in them. I'd be very curious. It's gonna be awful, but I really want to see how fast I can run a 5K. Lastly, I'm cross fingers that Boston happens in September, as that'll be my first major, and I just really am going for a big time in Boston. So we'll see if it happens, but I'm very excited just to have the spring build, and then for the summer to the fall build, I'm going big. If you don't know this about me already, I have big goals, and I like to go big all the way, and you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I just want to go for it as this is the time, and I just feel like I'm getting stronger and I have faster times in my legs, so I'm very excited for the fall. And doing a major, I am so excited for Boston. I'm gonna spend a lot of money and get a lot of Boston gear, and I probably will be just like head to toe Boston gear, but you know what? It's okay. One other thing I have planned to do is getting massages more frequently. This will help keep my muscles kind of limbered and just loose, and so it just prevents any injuries from happening. As well, if I have any pain, not to ignore it and just hope it goes away. This is what happened to me before the marathon. I had some sort of kind of inkling that something was wrong, but I kind of just ignored it. I just didn't want anything to stop me from running the full marathon in October, but maybe if I had gotten to get it checked out before, I might not have had to stop running so much, and you know, who knows, but that's my plan, is just not to ignore pain and getting more massages more frequently. I want to explore Toronto a bit more and maybe kind of just check out new routes that I've never done before. So if you have any suggestions of where I should go exploring and any routes in Toronto, let me know. I also kind of want to do more strength. I know I say I do 3 times a week, but I want to be more specific about the strength training I do and just kind of work on my imbalances a bit more, the things that kind of led or contributed to my IT kind of issue, but also just to become, again, a stronger, faster runner. I'm probably going to do another follow along workout, so feel free to check back for that. And lastly, I'm hoping to get into road biking and just kind of do that as a cross training. We'll see, I'll let you know how it goes. I'm a little scared, but I think it'll be a good, just something else other than running. But again, if you want to become a better runner, you gotta run more. So it's not gonna replace running, but just something for cross training. 2020 was a really hard year. People struggled and still are struggling, and it's been really hard. Just know if you're still feeling sad and anxious and overwhelmed, it's okay and you're not alone. I grew as a runner, a musician, and person in general, maybe unwillingly, but I did grow. I'm really grateful for the time that I was given from the pandemic, just not traveling so much and just being able to be home with my husband and just having some downtime. I think that's like one of the biggest things that I was given from the pandemic. Not everything was bad. I was able to accomplish my goal of a sub-3 marathon and just, you know, really got faster and stronger, so I'm really grateful for that too. It made me really truly appreciate just the things that you have now and not to take them for granted. How about you? What have you learned in 2020 and as a runner or just in general? It really helps my channel out when you hit that thumbs up button, so I really appreciate it. As well, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Cheers to 2021 and everything that it will bring. Hopefully great times, lots of fun, lots of races, lots of runs, just everything. I am super excited, and let's go on this journey together, and I will see you next time.